So, three things that have made me more successful in the dating world. And dating can be intimidating, it can be nerve wracking. You're meeting up with strangers, with people that you only have a little bit of information on. And maybe you met them over an app and you don't know what to say. There's all sorts of anxieties that pop up when you're dating, especially when you're meeting people for the first time. What do I say? How do I look? How am I coming off? Does this girl think I'm a bitch? What does this guy think? All this shit that's constantly running through your head. And these are three things that have helped me go from feeling more awkward and anxious to more confident and just have an overall better sense of self-worth when I am seeing people and meeting people and in dating mode. And applying these three actions over time has helped me sort of flip the switch in terms of connecting with people and just being who I am, not to shift how I act and say things towards what other people want to hear or what I think they want to hear, but more of the mentality of, okay, this is how I am. This is how I'm going to speak. This is how I'm going to act. This is what I think. And if we're not compatible, then that's okay. And so the first thing that has helped me in dating is the abundance mentality. There are millions of amazing women out there to date and just partners in general for whoever you are. If you're a guy, if you're a girl, if you're straight or you're gay, keeping in mind that there are millions of potential people that are great partners and not getting hung up on any one person specifically if it doesn't work out. To always remember, I'm literally looking out of my Brooklyn apartment and I can see the New York City skyline. And yes, the city is more empty than it is normally, but I'm in a city with millions of people, and that there's so many people that I'm going to meet on a daily basis, so much opportunity with apps now. The world is more socially connected, and people are putting themselves out there more, and keeping in mind that you want to have that abundance mentality. You want to feel like the world is at your fingertips as someone who's single and dating. You want to feel like there's so much opportunity that is out there for you, and not get caught up on one rejection or one person and kind of close your world off to that single person when you're in dating mode and saying, I'm going to live or die by this. If it doesn't work out, I need this to work out. That mentality makes you so much less attractive because it takes away from who you are. You start adjusting yourself to lock that person down, or you you start prioritizing them over your friends and family, and it's just not a good way to go through it. The opposite of the abundance mentality is the scarcity mindset, where you think that there's not a huge amount of partners out there for you, and so you might become overly invested in someone early on, and you're not exploring, you're not having that mentality of there's a bunch of people out there, and if it doesn't work out with this one person, it's okay. So it'll make you more attractive, it'll make you more at ease, it'll make you more comfortable, confident, keeping in mind this abundance mindset, and remembering that there are so many people out there that you can possibly be compatible with. Not that if it doesn't work out with this one person, it's okay. The second thing that's helped me is I stopped listening to technique driven dating advice. And you hear a lot of this in the pickup artist community, where they will tell you to say certain lines or compliment a woman in a backhanded way where you're trying to manipulate the power dynamic, touch her shoulder 3 times, or if she touches you on the thigh, that means she wants to fuck. Like all these different things that are thrown out there that are very technique based wise and performance based, where you're doing things and you're saying things because you're trying to come off a certain way. And I think this is like I said, it's performance based. If you're constantly worrying about what you're going to say and doing things at the right time and trying to say the perfect line, that's not going to work out. Like it may be good for short term, but if you feel like you're constantly performing, you're never actually conveying who you are. You're never actually sharing your opinion because you want to. You're never actually acting because you want to. You're acting because you're trying to make another person see you in a certain way. And if there's one thing that podcasting has taught me, it's not what you say, but how you say it. There is no perfect line. You can you can say the perfect line. I could have the perfect line for you right now and tell you to say it and say this is what's worked for me, but it's not going to work for you because you're a different person than me. We say things differently. Different things work for us, different things don't work for us. There would be things that you can say that I can't get away with because it's just not me. It wouldn't come off as genuine. So there is no perfect technique driven thing that you can say. There is no perfect thing. It's more how you say it. Are you confident in your approach? Are you saying something because you want to say it and it's true, and you have the approach of, okay, whatever her reaction is or whatever his reaction is, I'm that's fine. I'm saying something because I want to say it. I'm not saying something because I'm trying to perform in a certain way or say the perfect line. But if I promise you, there have been so many situations where I say something that if you read it on a piece of paper, it would sound awkward. It's not a good read, but the way that I said it, I was confident behind it, and it made something weird, something that would seem weird written out, look very like an approachable thing to say because I said it with confidence. And yeah, there are times where you feel super awkward. I I I get in my own head when I make myself feel like everything I say needs to be perfect. And that's something that podcasting also has helped me get over, where you think you need to always have the perfect line to start the conversation, or you're always thinking while the other person is talking because you think you have to have the perfect thing to say. There's not a perfect thing to say. You listen to what the person's saying, you make statements about what they're saying, you ask questions about what they're saying, and that is how you have a genuine conversation. You're not planning out the perfect thing to say in your head. You're reacting, you're listening, you're sharing personal stories, and you're building that connection. And you're saying what you have to say confidently. And you realize that it doesn't have to be perfect. A great conversation is not perfect. A great conversation is an honest back and forth between two people who are listening to each other and not thinking what the other person is, not calculating and not building an idea in your head while the other person is talking, like I'm going to say this no matter what they say. It's adjusting and reacting and sharing personal information to build that connection, and you can't do that with technique driven dating advice. The third thing that has really helped me, and this has been the biggest one, is taking advantage of video on dating apps. So I've talked about this a little bit on the podcast, but with Hinge, I recently put videos where the photos are supposed to go because Hinge now has an option where you can put videos. And my Instagram account is linked to my Hinge account. So if someone wants to go through photos and pictures of me and see what I look like on Instagram, they're free to do that. They have that option. So the photos on Hinge seem kind of redundant to me. So instead of putting more photos on my Hinge profile, they have 4 or 5 spaces for either a photo or video. I made these TikTok style videos, half joking, half serious, about who I am, what I want, what I'm about, and just kind of gave these, quick 30-second pitches on this is what I'm looking for dating. This is what I want up front. I can't promise this is going to work out, but I will be honest with you. And this may be a good date idea, some things like that. And I got a super and I got super enthusiastic responses from a lot of girls, more girls than what when I just had photos on my profile. And a lot of girls, from the ones that I wanted to reach out to, said that they appreciated the straightforwardness of the video. And the video also gives you more of an insight to someone than a photo. If you all you have is a photo, you don't know a lot about that person just by some quick snapshot. But if you see someone talking to a camera, kind of like what I am now, what I'm doing now, you can decide whether or not you like that person pretty quickly. You know, you get a much better sense of who that person is over video. So I think a lot of girls that saw that just had a really good idea of who I am, and or a better idea than the photo. And it's also polarizing. You saw my Hinge profile and you either loved it or you hated it, but there was no in between because videos are very aggressive. So the type of girl that's going to like that would probably be the type of girl that I would be more compatible with. And so the response to that was great and ended up having a lot of good connections come out of a result of that. So test it out, whatever dating app you're on, whether it's Hinge, Bumble, Tinder, uh, Plenty of Fish. I don't know what the fuck's what's out there, but experiment with videos if they give you the option. Record a video of yourself, upload it, and I think you'll be surprised with the response of people who will appreciate you being straightforward and actually having the confidence to put a video on the app because it's different, it's unique, and it shows that, hey, I'm doing this. I don't care what you think. This is my profile, and you can either take it or leave it. You're free to swipe left or right. Do whatever you want. I don't give a fuck. And so my challenge to you and challenge to myself as well, and even if you're in a relationship, even if you're in a committed relationship right now, I do think that you can apply a lot of these principles, the abundance mentality, stop listening to technique driven advice, and taking advantage of video in your relationship, but also business. I found that a lot of dating principles apply to business and career advice, and having an abundance mentality in business. For example, if you're in a situation where you don't want to be, just knowing that there are a lot of other options out there for you, and it's not the end of the world if one thing doesn't work out. And the technique driven advice, there's a lot of bullshit dating advice, just like there's a lot of bullshit business advice where people say, say these three things and you're guaranteed to get laid, or do these three things and you'll make $1 million in a year. Most of that's fucking bullshit. If it's not mindset and habit oriented advice over long term, there's no quick fix for feeling confident when you're dating or becoming a successful entrepreneur, becoming a successful businessman. If anyone tells you, do this one trick and this will give you long lasting, fulfilling results, that's bullshit. So don't listen to the technique driven dating advice and take advantage of video, even if it's not on dating apps. If you have your own business and you're looking for ways to brighten up your website or your social media, I think video is an untapped resource because people have been hyper focused on Instagram for the past 8 to 10 years, but now look at what's happening with TikTok. Instagram Reels just came out. So experiment on Reels with 15-second videos. Experiment on TikTok. TikTok isn't just all people dancing and doing weird shit. There's actually a lot of good advice and a lot of good insight on TikTok and Instagram in the video format. So that's my challenge to you. Use these three things, whether you're single or in a relationship, because you can apply them to dating and business.